Good evening. I'm very glad to see yogis coming here to join Satipatthana meditation retreat in this 10-day Sati. In Dhammāpada, it is said, Appamāda. In Dhammāpada, it is said that Pamādo Machuno Badam, meaning that Appamāda. Appamādo amatam bada, pamādo machuno bada, meaning that Appamāda, the mindfulness, heedfulness, is the cause to attain Nibbana. So here yogis are practicing Satipatthana meditation, mindfulness, which is the cause to attain Nibbana. Pamādo machuno bada, meaning if one is not mindful, heedless, then it is the cause to attain the death. Meaning that nobody likes to die. So if one wants to reach the state of deathlessness, one should practice mindfulness, heedfulness. But if one is not mindful, then this not being mindful, failing to be mindful, one will again and again meet death from one life to another. So whoever who doesn't like death, one should practice Satipatthana meditation. One should practice mindfulness, heedfulness, so as to attain the deathless. Buddha also urged to be mindful many times. And even in the Buddha's last words, Handa dani bhikkhave amandayami vo vayadhamma sankhara Appamādena sampadeta. Even at the last moment before Buddha attained Parinibbana, Buddha urged to be mindful. All conditions, things are going to pass away. All conditions, things pass away. Practice, accomplish Sila Samadhi Panya with mindfulness. So in this way, by practicing Satipatthana meditation, by practicing this mindfulness, one has to accomplish Sila Samadhi Panya through this practice. So by this way, one is also practicing what Buddha had urged, even at Buddha's last moment. Just now, yogi have taken the precepts. In order to keep the precepts clean, one should be mindful what not to do, what not to speak, and so on, in order to keep the sila clean. In this way, it needs mindfulness to keep the sila clean, especially not taking food in the afternoon, taking only the juice that is allowable, and so on. So it also takes mindfulness to fulfill the sila clean. Samadhi, one should be mindful as well. For example, when noting rising of the abdomen, one should aim and direct the mind onto the object. Put effort in noting so that the noting mind reaches the object. In this way, by noting the object with aim and effort, every time the abdomen rises, every time the abdomen falls, as well as every time sitting, touching, rising, falling, lifting, moving, placing. In this way, whatever the object is, yogi has to aim and direct the mind onto the object so that the noting mind will be face to face or direct with the object, and putting effort in noting so that the noting mind reaches the object. So in this way, noting the object, aiming, directing the mind, putting effort in noting every single second, one after another. In this way, viriya, in noting the object continuously, one after another, mindfulness will be sustained on the object, and concentration, the mind will fall calm, collected on the object. In this way, viriya, sati, samadhi, in each of the noting, these are the samadhi group, concentration group of the 8 noble path, 8 factors. Aiming, directing the mind onto the object, it is samma sankappa, initial application, and effort, making the effort so that the noting mind reaches the object, it is samma vayama. And the mind sticks onto the object, samma sati, right mindfulness, the noting mind fall calm, collected on the object, samma samadhi, right mindfulness. And when this viriya, sati, samadhi are continuous, one after another, viriya, sati, samadhi becomes strong, that one discerns the nature of the object. For example, when noting rising, one notices stiffness, tension, movement, and so on. In this way, knowledge arises, samadhi. Knowledge arises. In this way, samma sankappa and samadhi, the panya group. So in this way, yogi has to note whatever object that arises so that these factors will be present in each noting. So in order to accomplish the 8 factors of the path, one should be mindful of whatever the bodily activities that are prominent at the very moment, at the present moment. In the sitting meditation, when rising and falling is obvious, note as rising, falling, aiming the mind onto the rising, putting effort in noting the rising. If rising, falling not clear, you can put the hand on the abdomen, note rising, falling, rising, falling. If rising, falling is not clear, if you have been practicing other method before, if you get mixed up, you can note sitting, touching, sitting, be mindful of the whole body sitting, note it as sitting, touching between the buttock and the cushion, touching as touching. In this way, you can note sitting, touching. And when rising, falling become obvious again, you can note rising, falling. It is Kayanupassana Satipatthana, being mindful of the body. And when during walking meditation, noting every step, right, left, lifting, placing, lifting, moving, placing. Vedananupassana Satipatthana, when you are doing your sitting meditation, when pain arises, And if pain is more obvious, go on to note the pain. Focus your mind on the area where the pain is most prominent. Note it as pain, pain. And if in the mind arises sadness, note it as sad, sad. If happiness arises, note it as happy, happy. If comfort arises, noting comfortable. In this way, whatever feeling that arises, whether good or bad or neutral, that arises in the mind or the body, note it as it is. It is Vedana Nupassana Satipatthana. And in the sati meditation, at times, thoughts arises. When thoughts arises, if thoughts distract your mind, note it as thinking, thinking. Or if it is planning, note it as planning, planning. In this way, when thoughts or planning arises that come obvious, go on to note it, thinking, thinking, planning, planning. It is Citta Nupassana Satipatthana. Or at times when doing sati meditation, when you see mental objects, when you see mental images, note it as seeing, seeing. Or if your mind gets distracted by the hearing, note it as hearing, hearing. Or if you feel wanting, note it as wanting, wanting. If you feel angry, note it as angry, angry. If you feel bored, note it as bored, bored. If you feel sleepy, note it as sleepy, sleepy. It is Dhamma Nupassana Satipatthana. So in this way, one should be practicing Satipatthana meditation in order to cultivate the Eightfold Noble Path and to attain Nibbana. In the Samyutta Nikaya, it is said, Jesa Kesa Jibekare Sattaro Satipatthana Arada Arado Tesang Ariyo Atangiko Mago Sama Dukakayagami. Meaning, for those who are accomplished in 4 kinds of Satipatthana, in them, they accomplish the Eightfold Noble Path that reaches systematically into the cessation or end of all the sufferings. So as to reach the cessation of all these sufferings, one should cultivate the Eightfold Noble Path through this practice of Satipatthana meditation. So now yogis have taken the precepts, keeping the sila clean. There is Samavacha, right speech, Samakamanda, right livelihood, Samakamanda, right action, Samaajiva, right livelihood. This sila group is present. And by noting whatever object that is arising at the present moment, noting every object with effort, there is Samma Vayama, mindfulness sustained on the object, Samma Samadhi, Samma Sati, the noting mind full, calm, collected on the object, Samma Samadhi. These 3 of the Samadhi group is present. The mind aimed and directed onto the object, applying the mind onto the object, Samma Sankappa, discerning the nature characteristic Samadhi. In this way, 2 of the Panya group is present. So every time one is being mindful and discerning the object, one is cultivating 8 factors. So in this way, one has to be cultivating these 8 factors moment by moment, one after another, by noting whatever object that arises in this way of Satipatthana meditation. The Satipatthana is one and only sure way to purify the mind, to overcome sorrow and lamentation, to overcome mental pain, physical pain, mental distress, to attain knowledge and to realize Nibbana. So in this retreat, I would like to talk on Ariyavasa Sutta. Ariyavasa means the dwelling place of the noble ones. Ariya means noble one. Vasa, avasa. Avasa means dwelling place. So the Ariya, there are 8 kinds of Ariya. 4 who has reached the Magga, the path knowledge, and the 4 that has reached the Phala, the fruition knowledge. Actually, Maggata person, the 4 Maggata person, you cannot point out who is the Maggata person because the person attains Magga just for a mind moment of Magga knowledge. So even though we say Maggata person, but Maggata person, the person is said to be Maggata person only at the moment one attains Maggata, which is a split of a second, a very quick. But Phalata person, the 4 Sotapanna, Sakagami, Anagami, Arahata, these 4 persons who have reached the fruition knowledge. So in this way, there are 8 kinds of Ariya person. So Ariya Vasa means the dwelling place of the noble ones, the Buddha as well as the Ariya disciple have practiced this Ariya Vasa. There are 10 kinds of Ariya Vasa. So in the text, it is start with Gatame Dasa Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu. When one says, when the Buddha says Ida Bhikkhave Bhikkhu, the word Bhikkhu, one may think that it is only the monks who are Bhikkhu. Actually, people who practice can also be Bhikkhu in Sutanta way. So there are 2 kinds of Bhikkhu. Vinaya Bhikkhu are the monks who observe the Vinaya rules. These are the Vinaya Bhikkhu. Sutta Bhikkhu, Sutanta Bhikkhu. These are the whoever practices are called Bhikkhu. It is said that Patipanako hoti devova hotu manusova bhikkhu yeva sankhyan gacchati, meaning that whoever it is, whether it is the deity or whether it is the human being, whoever practices the Sila Samadhi Panya, they are called Bhikkhu. So the definition is Sansari Bhaya Ekatiti Bhikkhu, meaning the person who sees the danger of samsara is called a Bhikkhu. Kilese Bhindatiti Bhikkhu, meaning destroying the kilesa defilement, one can be called a Bhikkhu. So the destroying the defilements, there are 3 kinds of destroying the defilements. By the practice of Sila, one removes the transgressive defilements. having taken the precept, one refrains from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and so on. So in this way, through the practice of sila, one removes the transgressive defilements that can arise in the body and speech. Through the practice of samadhi, one removes the obsessive defilements that arise in the mind. So the kind of defilements, thinking about pleasurable things, having anger in the mind, such kind of obsessive defilements are removed through the practice of samadhi. When yogis are mindful of whatever object is arising, such as rising and falling of the abdomen, putting effort in the noting, the mind, falling, calm, collected on the object, mindfulness, sticking onto the object, the mind fall, calming, collected on the object. At that moment, having this viriya, sati, and samadhi present by being mindful of the object, one removes the obsessive defilements such as greed, anger. So in this way, through the practice of samadhi, one removes obsessive defilements. Latent, dormant defilements, anusaya kilesa, latent, dormant defilements can be overcome by panya. So every time one discerns the object by being mindful of the object, discerning the object, one removes anusaya kilesa moment by moment and weakening the anusaya kilesa moment by moment by discerning the object. So in this way, through the practice of sila, samadhi, and panya, one removes transgressive defilements, obsessive defilements, latent, dormant defilements, gross, medium, and refined forms of defilements are removed through the practice of sila, samadhi, and panya. So in this way, when the yogi is practicing satipatthana meditation, being mindful, discerning the object, yogi removes gross, medium, and refined form of defilements. Every time one is mindful, every time one discerns the object. So in this way, yogi is also called a bhikkhu. At the moment, one is being mindful, discerning the present arising object. Just like the saying, Patipannako hi devo va hotu manuso va bhikkhu ye va sankhyan gacchati. Meaning, whoever it is, whether a deity or a human being, whoever practice becomes or is a bhikkhu. So may you all be able to practice smoothly, diligently, so that you can also become Suttanta bhikkhu. And by being mindful, discerning the object, moment by moment, one after another.